Last time out we went through some JRPGs. Today I'm going to explore the general RPG genre with some fun beginner platinums for you guys. It can't be a beginner RPG list without the most beginner RPG that I know. I think it goes without saying that Skyrim is the king of casual RPG. Everyone and their mother has at least heard of Skyrim. And whilst you can get lost for hundreds of hours doing absolutely nothing, if you sit down and just attempt all of the quest lines, you will already be 80% of the way to this platinum trophy. Skyrim is definitely worth at least one platinum across its 3 different releases on PlayStation. I personally went for the PS5 version and had a pretty good time. Another well-known Bethesda quirk is the considerable lack of patchwork. It's pretty crazy how glitchy most of their games are. It doesn't really stop the fun though, and they have even embraced mods on console. The gameplay is still addictive, and you can end up wasting entire days without realising, which always seems to make me laugh. It feels like there will always be something calling me back to Skyrim, and I can never rule out returning to this again in the future. The Mass Effect trilogy is one of the multiple amazing trilogies from a truly great generation, and this one is a cut above the rest in my eyes. BioWare are highly regarded for their excellent character progression and expansive dialogue options, and it's as strong as ever here. This trilogy is one giant space opera where you, Commander Shepard, attempt to save the entire galaxy against a hibernating machine race called the Reapers. You travel across the planets, gathering allies, and chasing a rogue spectre by the name of Saren, who is your only lead to these mysterious foes. Gunplay is smooth, and the bionic powers are useful, although I don't use them nearly as much as I should, and they are really effective on your trophies. Your dialogue choices affect the outcome of your relationships with some characters, and there's also romance options for you Leisure Suit Larrys out there. The story continues through all 3 games, so it's advised to go through them in order, with each game being around 20 to 30 hours to platinum. I can't recommend these ones enough. This game is an example of a true surprise hit. I never would have thought a South Park game could feel so authentic, but it really just feels like one big episode that you get to be a part of. You play as a new kid just arriving in the town of South Park, and you are quickly embroiled in a crazy series of events that spans multiple days and sees you taking on turn-based combat. Exploring the town, there are some genuinely crazy jokes and classic outrageous South Park moments. There are so many returning faces, so if you watch the show, you'll feel right at home. This platinum is interesting, as on one hand, it is incredibly easy. It can be done in one playthrough as long as you pick the Jew class when you start the game. There are a decent amount of missables. My last run through on this game was around 6 hours with a guide, but without one, you're probably looking at around 20. There is also a sequel that I didn't enjoy as much, but I still had a good time with it. And there are murmurs of a 3rd game to make this a trilogy, so I will be keeping my eye out for that. Now hear me out, I know Fallout 4 isn't the highest achiever out of the great games released in this series, but I think this is a perfect entry point for anyone wanting to give Fallout a go. Like other entries, the world is ravaged by nuclear warfare, and the main character is living underground in cryostasis in a government vault. You wake up years later to a whole new world. This game is similar to Skyrim in that you can truly spend hundreds of hours getting lost, doing nothing, and just exploring the really fun world around you. This is basically Skyrim with guns, so follow quest lines, and again, you will be pretty close to completion. Be mindful of the factions quest lines, as doing them in the wrong order can mess up your other quest lines. One thing you'll either love or hate is settlement building. It's a really fun mechanic, and you can get hooked for hours doing this, which is good because there's a lengthy trophy that requires a lot of work on your settlement. If you like this game, you are almost guaranteed to like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, both available on PS Plus Premium to stream, so go get stuck in. Now you may be thinking, no way is this for beginners. I'm bad at hard games, and Souls games are just too tough for me. But what if I were to tell you that Elden Ring is the exact answer that you have been looking for? In terms of punishing gameplay and tough bosses, the Souls games take the cake. I'm here to tell you that they have made this game so accessible for beginners that it's almost not a hard game at all. Don't get me wrong, there are still moments that will have you stressing, but the challenge is fair, especially when it comes to obtaining the platinum. There's a common theme with RPGs, and if you want to, you can spend hours of your time exploring, leveling up, and doing whatever you feel like. You can get so many broken builds, and you can go anywhere you want in this one, making it easy to get overpowered very quickly. The reason why Dark Souls games feel hard is because they're generally based on slow and archaic movement. You have to grind for hours to obtain Covenant items, which I just hate. This game is more fast paced and mixes combat from Bloodborne and Sekiro in two. The Platinum Trophy requires you to defeat some bosses and obtain some endings which can be save scummed using the cloud, meaning that this can actually all be done in one playthrough. So, this to me is the beginner entry if you want to try and get into a Souls game. It does a lot more for newcomers than others. Now let me know down below if you think this game is right for beginners or if you think it's too hard. I'd love to hear your opinions. And whilst you're there, don't forget to hit all those buttons so I can continue delivering Platinum Trophy content directly to your feed. So that's it from me today guys. I appreciate all of your support as always. Take care. Gaspard out.